excited. I can't believe that in the middle of January is such a beautiful day in Seattle. We don't get many of these in the wintertime, that's for sure. So I saw this day and I knew I had to take advantage of it. And I'm feeling pretty happy. The sky is so blue. At this point, I'm used to gray skies. I'm so glad I can appreciate the blue ones. It's about 53 degrees outside. I would say my riding weather of choice is probably 68 degrees. The gear makes you a little warm. So actually having it colder than room temperature is pretty good for me. 53 degrees is great, but just a little bit colder than I would than my optimal desired temperature. But regardless of what the temperature is like, having such a clear day like this, we can see those mountains in the distance. So as soon as I pull up at a stoplight where there's a hill, we're gonna see some snow peak caps, and it is just gonna look good. It's gonna be a description of why people decide to live out here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm from Florida, so mountains aren't exactly something we're used to in Florida. Around here, if it's a clear day like this, it's all you see in the horizon. Mountains, mountains, mountains. And they look a lot better when there's snow on top. But like I was saying, it's gray skies most of the time in the winter around here. So I haven't rode since October or November, something like that. I was wondering what it was going to be like to get back on the bike. But it was, like I was thinking, am I going to feel weird? It felt pretty normal. I think I need to practice a little bit of fundamentals right now just to get really back in the swing of things. But it's probably going to be gray skies like tomorrow and I'm not going to ride, so I'm just trying to like overemphasize all my fundamentals right now, like looking into the turn and everything like that. So here's an example of the stoplight where you can kind of see in the horizon. There isn't mountains over there, but it's definitely a hill at least. And we got some houses on it, houses on the hill, and it looks pretty good. And right now, it probably looks way better to me than it looks to anyone else, because all I've been seeing for the past 2 months is great. I couldn't even see past that speed limit 40 sign. It was just fog and gray skies. That's how it is around here. I have a couple routes that I like to take through Seattle. Going over bridges is usually a good one. This one takes me right next to a bay, and I'm going to extend this route a little bit and go over a bridge. We'll check out Mount Rainier. It's going to be good. I feel like most people must have 2 or 3 routes they can just pull out of the bag on any given day at a minimum. Some people probably have way more than that, but usually if it's a nice day and I haven't rode in about a week or something, I pull out one of my favorite 2 or 3 routes. I would say this is probably my second favorite, but the thing about this route is I can either make it short or I can combine it with my favorite route and make it really long. So that's what I'm going to do today, to take advantage of this wonderful weather. It feels so nice to be back on the CBR. So this is a CBR1000RR I got in the summer, and I've just loved every second I've spent on this bike. The guy I bought it from was there's a lot of emergency vehicles in the area. Car crash, I'm guessing. I started riding on a Ninja 650R, and that was November 2016. Yeah, November 2016. I got my endorsement, and that was a great learning bike. I'm glad I started on the 650R. It had enough power to go on the freeway just fine, enough weight so I didn't get blown around. It gave me the thrill I wanted of being on two wheels. I didn't feel like I was lacking. And ultimately, I originally wanted a CBR, but I didn't want to start on a CBR. I'm glad I did not start on a CBR. Because if I did, I would have started on the CBR 600. So that's one reason. The other reason is it might have been too much power. I've never been on a CBR 600, so I can't say for sure. But in the end, I wanted a CBR 1000. So it made sense to switch from a 650R to a 1000. It made more sense to do that than to just start with 1000. And upgrading from a 600 to a 1000 would have, like, if I had a 600, I would have been less likely to upgrade to a 1000, even though it would have been what I originally wanted the most. But I would be like, I already have a 600, and a 1000 is a lot faster, but it's still a super sport like the 600 I have now. So do I really need to upgrade just to go faster? I'm going to have the same seating position, same feel, just with more speed, more weight. Upgrading from a 650 to a 1000 is like, yeah, if you want a super sport, do it. There's not, yes, you get more performance. Yes, you get a different feel. You get a different seating position. So, easy decision to make. I'm glad with what I did. If I had to, if somebody asked me, I haven't been riding for years. I've been riding for a year and 4 months or something, 3 months. If somebody asked me, from my experience, what they should do when they're starting, if they could start on the bike I have now, I would say, yes, you could start on the bike I have now. Absolutely you could. Would I recommend it? I would not. I would not recommend it. And I did not even try to do a 250. So I wouldn't tell somebody to do 250, and I did not struggle with my 650. If you're somebody that is confident in your abilities, and you just have coordination, you're confident in your abilities, I see no problem with starting with a 650. And now if you're maybe fearful to pick up motorcycles, you're hesitant or something, that's just your personality, maybe a 250 would be better, but a 650 is fine to start on. Absolutely, a 650 is a great starting bike. And a lot of it just comes down to what kind of person you are. I think an important thing, the most important thing about being on a motorcycle is your fundamentals. For me at least, like, I made sure to practice my braking, looking into my turns and all that stuff. Maybe I'm a little rusty right now, but that's, as soon as I got my bike, I just went to parking lots and did that. And then another thing is I think confidence is very important, that you're confident that your bike is gonna be okay in this turn, so you're not wiggling it, you're not scared. I think fear to be on two wheels is gonna possibly end up you're gonna have a bad time. I mean, you're just gonna be afraid, and also you're not gonna be able to handle the bike as well. So ultimately that comes down to the biggest decision. Now, if you're on the fence and your friend is, you have friends that are saying, yeah, you can start on the 650R, well, maybe they can give you that confidence you need, like, yeah, you can definitely do it. So, I mean, you can definitely start on a 650R. You could, like I said, I think somebody could start on this bike. Somebody could start on a 1000. I would just not recommend that, because one of the things about starting out is if you start riding on streets very quickly, you don't exactly control the pace that you learn at. A lot of the times, the skills you need and the lessons you learn on the road are not your decision, it's the people around you. So if you have the power of a CBR1000RR and it's time for you to learn this lesson of you need to stop right now, or you need to turn immediately, like you need to make a split decision, having this much power has less wiggle room. And that's not something you control on the road. And another thing is, like, if you're just going up a hill, it could be as simple as that. If you're going up a hill on a CBR1000 and you're just starting out and you need to catch the clutch at the right time, engage and go up the hill, like, it could be second nature to people who've been riding a long time. When you're starting out, that is not easy. And when you have this much power and you overdo the throttle when the clutch engages, that could be bad. However, if you start out on a CBR1000R, you took it around parking lots, and then you took it around like your neighborhood, and you controlled the speed at which you learn, that's why I think people can learn on a CBR1000RR. So that's another personality trait. Are you the type of person to set limits and say, I need to reach this milestone before I raise my limit, such as starting a parking lot, going to your neighborhood, whatever the next level is? If you're that type of person, I think that you could start on the bike that you want to a CBR1000RR. I can't speak for a bike that's faster or different than this. I can't even speak for a Jix 1000. I just don't. I would assume it's the same thing. I don't know. I haven't ridden it. If you're the type of person that goes head first and you're going to put yourself in a situation where you need to learn on the fly, then the best, from a safety standpoint, I think the best thing to do is to have wiggle room and to have a machine that's forgiving. So that would be a 650R. And I think it's a great topic, because I know when I was starting out, the videos that I watched the most were videos on, first of all, how do I even, like, what do I need to know about turning a motorcycle? That's what I started with. But then right after that, it was, what do I start with? And I didn't just watch one video, I didn't just watch 2 videos, I watched at least 10 videos, just joining all these different opinions. And then I asked friends, and I went between, like, okay, I'm gonna do a 250. That's what I started with, because I was like, if I don't know anything, the easy decision is 250. It's the decision where I don't have to think. And then I was like, seeing videos, oh, you could start with whatever you want, 600. But then I was seeing videos like, it's not forgiving, don't start with a 600. And ultimately I met in the middle ground with a 650. The 650 is still pretty fast. It just doesn't have the performance tuning. It doesn't have as quick of acceleration. It doesn't have as quick as of a brake. Like, you touch the brake on this thing and you're stopping very quickly. That is, from what I hear, and also from what I know using this thing, that is easy to underestimate, just how quickly a performance vehicle like a CBR1000RR, how quickly it stops. And same thing should happen if you're driving like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. The more speed you have, the more of a performance vehicle you are, the more you actually need to be able to control the speed that you decelerate. So it's just not something you think about. You think about the speed. You don't think about the fact that when you need to stop, you have a lot of stopping power. So my recommendation to any beginner would just be a 650. And there's the Ninja 650, there's the SV 650, and I think those, if you're going to enter the sport biking world, those would be my two recommendations, absolutely.